my next guest I have coming on, she is um, she is coming on. She's been a guest before, and it's Karen Alleyne-Means, and we are talking authenticity. And Karen is actually going to be back on my show in March, so I'm so excited to have Karen come on with me to talk about this topic of authenticity, because she knew me back when I was dimming my light.
I think we all were at that point.
At that point, we were all dimming our light, and I don't know if you heard what I was talking about earlier in the show, but I was talking about that someone who we both know had told me, don't dim your light just to appease everybody else in the room. Mm-hmm. And I assumed that she saw something in me. And if I say the name Sharon, we all know who we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate her saying that, because at the time I didn't understand what she was saying, because I said, I'm not dimming my light. What are you talking about? I'm not dimming my light, but meditate on it. I had to really soak that in. Mm-hmm. and understand what it was she was saying. And it was because I had that people pleasing, because I had that
your nature.
I didn't want to upset the apple cart. Right. I didn't want to be my bold, audacious self. Mm-hmm. That I was willing to do that. And so where in your life, Karen, did you see that happening, where you were dimming your light and not being authentically you?
You know what? That's very interesting that you say that, Alicia. And I think a lot of times we all do that. Even, I think subconsciously we do it.
You have to be aware that you're doing it.
It's subconsciously. And then it's the fear that protection, because at the same time where you said that, that person said to you, you're dimming your light. I can remember, and I'm not going to call her name because she's not with us anymore. No. When she passed away, and I was talking about Emergent Soul and what it meant to me. And here it was, I felt that I was bearing my soul and just putting everything out on the table. And she's like, I don't feel anything. You haven't shared anything. I was like, what, are you kidding me? It's amazing how in our minds, in our perceptions, we're putting you were living, audaciously. You were being so bold and putting it all out there. I felt, and I'm sorry for my phone binging, I felt that I had been putting my soul, was so transparent. And she was like, no. And I'm like, what else is there for me to share? I'm talking about deepest and darkest secrets. And it's not until you really do that introspective look and say, okay, what am I holding back? Is there more that I could share? And not even share, but just, is there a different way that I could show up? Mm-hmm. And not think about what so-and-so's going to say or what they're going to say, but just say, hey, you know what? I'm here. It's me. You like me, you don't. I'm still going to be good. How often do people really do that? That's where we stepped into that confidence. And I think that's where we both are now, that it's like, well, whatever.
Because even I shared earlier that my daughter was telling me that I'm sometimes too much, because when we were in public and I'm asking her to do something and she's like, Mom, sometimes you're just too much, you need to back it up a little bit. And I took a beat, not longer than that. And I thought about it and I said, well, you know who I am. This is how I'm going to be with you. Mm-hmm. And if that makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry about that. You just tell me in that moment, Mom, and then I'll take a step back. Mm-hmm. But then you have to step up, because the only reason I'm doing this as I'm pushing you out there is because you're not moving. Right. And you're saying, and you said that you would.
Right.
You said you want to, you said that you would, and you're not doing it. So I am being bold and I'm being audacious and I'm pushing you out there. So if you tell me I'm being too much, I'll respect that. I'll say, okay, but then I want to see you move, because then I'll back up. Then I'll, and so, because I don't want my children to have that same thought embedded in them that, well, I don't want to show up this way because it might offend that person, or I don't want to show up like this because it might make them uncomfortable. You show up who you are.
Yeah.
And if they're uncomfortable, let them deal with it.
I think this generation, and I won't say things, it's still the same because they're still very subconscious. And literally right before I came on, I was talking to Kelsey, who she's working, one of her jobs is she works over at my gym with little kids.
Yeah.
And she's just like, Mommy, this little girl, she's like, I just don't know. I don't know if she's just sheltered or what, but she, because Kelsey has that great natural hair. And this little girl keeps coming up. She's like, every day she comes up to me, she's like, your hair is not real. My hair is very straight and your hair feels like whatever. And I said, you know what, Kelsey? I said, just tell her hair feels fake and your hair is real. And she's like, I'm not going to shade a little girl. But I'm like, you have to embrace who you are and not say, well, mine is not good as yours because yours is straight, but just show up in who you are. And I can remember, and that's the reason I cut off my locks, is because she was like, Mommy, your hair is straight. And I'm like, it's not, it's locked. I'm still locked.
Yeah.
She had naturally curly hair and she did not embrace her curl. She didn't, enjoy it. And I was like, I can't have my child, who I believe is just beautiful. I mean, she used to model. She has that confidence when she's in front of the camera.
And she looks just like you.
No, thank you. But not embrace all of it. And I was like, all right, well, if you think my hair is straight, I'm going to cut off my locks and go curly to be curly with you, so you can love your curls. So now it's, good. And I was like, man, sometimes I'm like, I miss my hair, but I'm like, it's fine,
it's
whatever.
All good. But it's all good.
It's that turning time and that moment that something just switches and then you're just like, you know what? I'm me. I'm going to show up who I am. Those who like me and will accept me will. Those who you're not my cup of tea and I'm not yours. And that's okay, because we're not meant for everybody.
It is okay. Let me take a quick break.
Okay.
I just want to say really quickly, for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for joining us. I'm with Karen Alleyne-Means, and we're talking about authenticity. So I am going back to my guest, Karen Alleyne-Means, and we are talking all about authenticity and confidence, because when you cannot be yourself, it hinders your confidence. And, you can think that you're confident, and you can be walking around like you're confident, but you can still be hiding behind a box, hiding behind the veil, and just doing the things that you think is expected of you, or that is, whatever role you're playing, and you're doing it well, but you're not really being true to who you are. Shakespeare in Hamlet said, to thine own self be true, above all, to thine own self be true. And so you really have to look inward and figure out what is true about you. So one of the things I did, I don't know if you did this, Karen, but one of the things I did was I took several assessments, a bunch of assessments, to kind of figure out, well, if I take these assessments, what are my strengths? What are the things that make me me? And I took a lot of assessment, and it did help me. It helped me a lot figure out a lot of stuff that is really innate and natural to me, instead of kind of putting on that kind of behavior to appease others. And then I sat in that, and I was able to pick out, well, really, is this true about me?
Okay.
And then if this is true about me, then how would I really behave if this were true about me?
Okay, that's very interesting. And what courses did you take, or this like disc profile?
I did a whole bunch of them. Yeah, I was like a assessment junkie.
Okay.
I did Myers-Briggs, DISC, Colby, which is now I'm Colby certified, because that was one assessment that I really, really believe spoke most to who I was, because it really helps you understand what natural instincts are and how you operate naturally and instinctively. And I really got a lot out of taking the Colby. What's smoking, Scott. What is smoking? Explain yourself.
I think he's saying that we're smoking.
We're smoking. Well, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
So I've taken Strength Finders. I've taken what is this other one? Wealth Dynamics.
Okay.
I've taken, there are a bunch of different
tests. Yes.
A lot of different personality. And the reason I liked Kolbe is because it wasn't personality driven. It was driven by the cognitive part of your mind, which is your doing part. Because I was always like, you always beat yourself up about why I didn't do this and why can't I do it this way and why, and when I understood who I was naturally born to be, that released me from a lot of the things that I should not be doing because it wasn't instinctive to me to do.
Okay.
And it made me try too hard to be like something else that I'm not. And that kind of was my journey. I know Lily said that she wrote a lot of stuff down. How do you come to your own authenticity?
Well, for me it was, and as you know me and you have known me, I have always been go, do, being busy. I don't want to say that I'm busy to prevent myself from checking in. I claimed that I was busy being productive, but it was also my mechanism
right.
for not checking in. So once I took the time to say, okay, Karen, you need to get quiet. You need to listen and actually check in and have that gut instinct.
Yeah.
For me, I know what I like and I know what I don't like. I know what I'm great at and I love to do, and I know what I don't want to do.
Right.
But my issue was because I would be a pleaser or because when I was younger, I would allow, I'll just say, my parents establish who they thought I was and what I could
who you should be.
Right, or who I should be. Once I started listening to myself, then it became natural for me to say, okay, these are my strengths. Yes, I can do that, but I'm not going to waste my time doing it.
Yeah.
I had to really start listening. And it's funny because I tell people that it was when I turned 40, it was just like, oh, I can say I don't want to do that. Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that.
I don't need permission no more.
Yeah, I don't want to do
permission.
that. Right. So it was that. And then tuning into my gut feeling to know, yes, Karen, you are aligned to do this. No, you're not aligned to do that. And just going with what is your strength. That's for me. And, that's why I'm so excited to be working with you and Sebastian and my relaunch, my rebrand.
Yeah.
Because, Emergent Soul is my heart space and my passion. And everyone else in the past I've worked with, oh, Karen, you're just a sales coach. Just sales. No, I don't want to be sales. Am I kidding?
Because everybody keeps putting you in that pigeonhole.
Right. But I am a natural salesperson.
Right.
Being heart-centered in that space, building positive relationships and creating win-win. But I have to go with my strength. That's where I need to go. So it was important to me to put it all under one umbrella and bring it together and say, yes, Karen, you can focus on mindset is the number one skill set that you need for sales. It can be a win-win by being of service to someone else. Don't go away from it. Put it together.
And that's, and that is one of the, when we did branding, that was one of the aha moments too, is that you can integrate everything. You don't have to be one thing or the other. And people keep trying to pigeonhole you into one thing. And even now today, people are still trying to pigeonhole me into one thing. And I'm always saying, well, I am multiple things. And I can embrace all of those multiple things.
That's right.
And still give a powerful message and still influence people and still have an impact. That's without having to pigeonhole myself into just this one thing and keep going back to that one thing. And I think people don't always embrace their multifacetedness, even if that is a word. I just made it up. Okay. So we're all multifaceted. And so I think sometimes when you're a mom, you think, well, I'm just a mom. And I hear women say that all the time. I'm just a mom, or I'm just a this. And they're not embracing all those other parts of themselves Yes, exactly, Sebastian. They're not embracing all those other parts of themselves and saying, well, yes, I am, but I can also do all these other things. And that is authentically who they are. And so let's talk about confidence for a little bit, because you mentioned, you poured your heart out, you were doing Emergent Soul. How did that affect your confidence when you switched from doing sales, because that was your wheelhouse for a long time, that was your thing? How did it affect your confidence when you made that incorporation into your life to bring in Emergent Soul?
Well, it made a lot of sense to me, right? And one thing I can say this is that if you don't know who you are, other people will tell you who you are. And it's not who you are, I say it's what you answer to. So you have to know. So when it's not right, you can say, you know what? No.
Can I just say one thing for a second about that? Because sometimes when people call you a name, and people get offended if someone calls them a particular name or says something about them, they get offended. And my position my whole life has always been, well, are you that, or is that you?
Correct.
So why are you answering to it? Why are you even giving it a thought?
Exactly.
So if people are calling you something or saying something about you that's not true, that's not authentic to who you are, why are you even, honoring it by responding to it?
Correct.
Like, I wouldn't even respond. I just keep on. It's like, I'm talking to you. I'm like, no, you're not. That's not my name.
Exactly.
You did not refer to me by my name. So
exactly. It
I don't know
only
who you're talking to
until you say, yes, that I am.
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead. Sorry. I cut you off just because I wanted to just say, if it's not you, don't get offended. Just keep moving.
Exactly.
Hey, Rhonda. Thanks for joining.
Okay. So, and I shared that, I brought that up. So it wasn't until I could say confidently, and I had knew in my core that Emergent Soul and sales are one. Because in the past, and because I wasn't sure how to work it together, people are like, oh, it's two separate things. Emergent Soul is here. This is all mindset, motivation. Sales are here. And then people say, and what do you do? I'm confused. I'm confused. You're confused. What's your brand? I don't know what you do. Which in sense, because I wasn't sure. And I'm like, what is it that I do?
Because then you get confused now.
Right, because I'm confused. Right. So it wasn't until I knew and could say, you know what, this is not, I'm overthinking it. And because other people, sometimes we get caught up in that noise of everything else that we don't know what's going on. So I had to come and own my ownness and say, you know what, it's not everyone's going to understand it. Those who will. It's my job to come out, put the message and make it sense. And those who are attracted to it will. So it wasn't with that. And I was like, you know what, it is one in my oneness.
Yeah.
And who I am. I'm not two separate people. I had to take off that magazine person, suit person, fun and free. Like it's me. I could be in a suit one day and jeans the next. This is who I am, who I wanted to show up to be. And I'm like, I am living what I'm saying. So I say for Emergent Soul, it's in me, and it's just how I choose to conduct myself and do business with people.
Can I say?
And like everything that we do is sales. So it's one.
I want to say that when I first met you, when we first started working in this group together, I thought you were just so serious. I'm like, she is so serious. Oh my God.
Now. You mean
back in the day when we first met, I was like, you are so serious and just so like.
You know what it was, Alicia? Because I was very guarded.
Yes.
Because there was so much and I had experienced so much in my life. I didn't let people in. You know what I mean?
You were just so walled in and you were just so serious. I'm like, I can't even crack a joke around this one. I think that's when Sharon meant like you're dimming your light, because I'm like, I don't want to crack a joke on this one at this table. I don't know what she's going to say.
And that's what Mom, if you're watching this, I come back to you again, I apologize. I tell her from, 30 to 45, I was not myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I had learned by that is that, and I talk about in my book, I had gone through so much. I had learned to function. And this is why I tell people, it's like, you have to know. And on the outside, here it is. I'm like, oh, they don't know what's going on with me, even though it's all here.
Yeah.
But I was functioning as, oh, she has it all together.
She
whatever.
has it all together. Right.
Broken. And I tell people, it's just like, yes, I can play poker, but my expressions are here. It doesn't matter. Whatever I'm feeling and thinking, it shows on my face. So even though I was like this, as you say, she's always serious, because it was like, my mind was always like this, and that was like, and then also, being a, Sebastian.
Yes, Sebastian, yes.
My twin, yes. But it was a matter of learning, as, okay, I'm the publisher of a magazine.
Yes, it's just.
I'm very, very proper. Okay.
Very proper.
Very proper. Versus, what was I feeling on the inside? And it wasn't until I was able to deal with here, then it was like, okay, chop down a little bit, that's when I was able to shave it down. I can let people in a little bit. Okay, they're okay. You're not gonna leave me. Can we play? Okay, I'll come play with you.
You know what I used to do? The thing I used to do is I have like a really sometimes twisted sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And so I would just like let a little bit out and see if people get it. And if they don't get it, then I pull it back in real quick. So I know I didn't say that.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I would like kind of on the down low say something and wait for the reaction and then see, okay, now I can be myself around these people. Right. But now it's like, this is me, take it or leave it. And, if you don't like my jokes, don't laugh. Don't come around.
The way I tell people I'm like, and they're just all serious. I'm like, I'm joking. Oh, okay. And I'm like,
Exactly. So, oh my gosh, I so appreciate you coming on because, when you see a transformation in someone, especially when, and this show is about authenticity. So, when you see a transformation in someone, an arc, it's so funny. I was talking to the director of one of the movies that I'm in, and we were talking about my character's arc because she doesn't have an arc. She is just who she is. And we're talking about trying to create a character arc for her. I'm like, why? She's just mean. Just leave her mean, But when you start seeing people develop and coming out and opening up and becoming more of themselves and becoming more of who they are, it's really great to see that shift and that change and to see where they started and where they are once they made that decision to really truly embrace their authenticity and their confidence. And it's something that Karen has seen me go through, right? You have seen me. I mean, I don't even know what I was like back then.
I have pictures.
You have pictures. And it's funny because I hated taking pictures. So I'm surprised you have pictures because I didn't take pictures of myself very much back then. But I look at even pictures from before and my smile, I can see it in my eyes. I can see that lack of confidence. I can see it in the smile on my face and see what a difference it is once I chose, because it's a choice, people.
That's right.
It is a choice. When I chose to be me, and that keeps, what that means keeps unfolding, it keeps growing. But when I made that choice to be authentically me, a lot changed in the pictures that I took. Did you see a change in the pictures that you took from when you were a serious businesswoman?
Yes, very much so. And I could put them side by side and see. And it's funny because in our family, we say that we had the phony Alleyne smile. So the smile is still the same, but you could see the brightness in the eyes or the expression, yes. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. The burden shifts away and the true you comes out. Yes, because now it's not about trying to appease anyone or make anyone feel good about it. It's about really being fulfilling to yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you are able to fulfill yourself, you're able to give more to others, because now you're giving you're freely giving. You're really freely giving. And it's a beautiful thing.
No expectations. No expectations.
It's a beautiful thing. And when I became a speaker, that's really when it started to come out for me, because I was always a speaker and I was just hiding behind, way behind the scenes, like in the closet behind the scenes instead of coming out on stage. So we are about to wrap, because I believe that we have just a few minutes left. Are there any closing thoughts that you have, Karen, on authenticity and confidence that we can share with the audience?
Well, that's just, thank you for having me on your show today. I greatly appreciate it. Anytime to come and connect with you, it's wonderful. So thank you.
And we're going to do more. We're going to have you back in March again, and we're going to talk about business and sales and all that stuff.
We love it.
We love it. We're going to talk about business and sales, and really how you can be more confident in sales and in your business and really get things done. And you're going to be back. I just want to thank you for jumping on with me. And also,
let me just say this, my tip for everybody. Yes. Life is too short to live in the shadows of someone else. The world needs you, what you have. So step up, as Alicia says, be audaciously confident and bold, and live your best life.
Yay. Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and to come to Dramaniac TV and like our page so that you don't miss any of our wonderful content. Hey, Aaron. You can feel when someone is authentic. You can feel when they're authentic, Aaron. Thank you so much. And so as we wrap up the show tonight, I thank Lily Chauvin for being a guest on the show tonight. And I hope that you took away something from our conversation about authenticity, about how it affects your confidence, and how you can be more authentic and more courageous and more confident in everything that you do. And just from the bottom of my heart, I'd love and appreciate all of you. Please, 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 again, share this out to anyone that you feel is struggling with their authenticity, is struggling with their confidence, because our mission and our message here is to help as many people as possible live the life of their dreams, because here on Dramaniac TV, you dream big and we make it happen. Good night, everybody. Mwah. Hi, Alicia Couri here. If you enjoyed that episode of the Audacious Confidence Show, check out more on this channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you hit that notification button, you won't miss a single episode.